Good evening, everybody. Welcome to Muck. And as you see, we're a little light today. We're just amped because we don't have any O with us today. She O is still doing her work stuff, and we don't have Pam tonight.
Yeah, we
We're
do.
Pam free. We're
Pam's
Pam free.
there. She's
Pam,
looking.
Pam is
Pam's
there.
looking over the fence.
Yeah,
Is that Pam face?
that's my
Sorry.
Pam face.
That's all right. That's all right. We're instead of Pam, we have the beautiful Jess, and she's going to hang out and she's going to represent Kensaw. So I don't even know how to work with that Oklahoma there. I mean, she usually pops in, but she didn't even say anything chat. So it's all right. That's okay. We won't even talk about Oklahoma.
It's okay, right?
It's it's all right. It's all good. We'll be talking about Missouri tonight. It's actually Ken's turn to thrill us all with his deep knowledge of everything. Well, actually, you had a guest tonight, but something went sideways, correct?
Something went amok. Yes,
That
and it's like the third amok thing for me in a row here now. Well, I'm sorry, 2 out of 3. But anyway, yes, I did have a guest scheduled for tonight. She's from Hannibal, Missouri, but she had some emergency situations the last couple of days, and she is completely overwhelmed. And we're going to get her on at a later date.
Yeah,
So,
that's all right. That's all right. It happens. Life happens. We all know
life
that.
happens.
We get it.
Yep.
That does happen. And this is just a for fun gig, so that's all right. We're good.
Absolutely.
So we're going to talk about Missouri tonight. We're going to talk about how sketchy the Missouri people are.
Absolutely. And it's going to be more of I'm going to call it this tonight. Tonight's going to be mostly St. Louis, but it's going to be Moyle. So Moil. I know. There's a big river in between me and the foreign country, but it's okay. I spend a lot of time in that foreign country. I have a lot of friends in that foreign country, and but it's a great state, especially in this particular area, because there are so many places that we can investigate between St. Louis in that particular area, and also just across the river. Over in
East St. Louis?
Yes, East St. Louis, where all of the shining bright lights are and the music comes from the buildings. Yes, perfect.
East St. Louis is the only place I've ever actually felt fear.
I have felt fear in probably that area, and also driving through it once or twice. And also, there's a couple of roads within the St. Louis area that I prefer not to drive down, even during the day.
Yeah,
I'm like, yeah, it's a rough area. But
when I first came back from England, I had to pick up my car that was shipped, and I had to pick it up from the base, and there's a base over there in East St. Louis, whatever.
No, it's like 40 miles away.
Yeah, and I got off the freeway, and I'm going through that area, and I'm like, it was sketchy. And that was back in 90. Well, no, that was 80. Yeah, 89. Yeah, it was.
They have a lot more street lights on the highways now.
That's all right. So, would you say St. Louis is like the most paranormal in Missouri?
The most paranormal, I would say no, not
No?
the most, but it's pretty far up there on the chain of command. Yeah,
it's totally paranormal for me, because my GPS will take me there. I'll get there, and then like the Hotel California, it will not let me leave. It tries to take me anywhere but the direction I need to go. Like it takes me 6 hours to get to St. Louis, and to drive home, it says it was like some 40 some odd hours. I don't know where it takes me, because I wasn't going to listen to my GPS, and that was 2 different GPSs that done that to me.
I tried to go to Breadco once from just West County, and it said it was going to take me 72 hours. And I'm like, where the hell are you taking me? So and first off, it changed it to transportation, like bus or whatever. You got those 4 options. At least it wasn't walking. It's done that before too. But no, it took me to Boston. And I'm like, I want to go to Boston. I know it's in this plaza that I'm in. It'd be like not even a quarter mile from where I was at, but no, 72 hours. I'm like, all right, whatever.
That's not, yeah.
My daughter and I completely, I mean, we lost it. Started laughing hysterically about that one.
I get lost every time I go to St. Louis. It doesn't matter what I'm doing. It does not matter. How about you, Jess? You go to St. Louis at all?
Yes, I've been a few times, and yes, I have gotten lost.
Yeah,
St.
it doesn't
Louis on
matter. Even
numerous
if you have a
occasions.
GPS, it says turn left, and you're like, no, there's no left here. I don't know what you're telling me. And I guess, like I said, you had we went to a couple of your events, Ken, there at the garden.
At the garden,
And
yep.
yeah, and it took me there, no problem. But the first time we was coming home from there, I go up via Joplin, so I drove up through Joplin, coming up there, and then coming back. My GPS kept telling me to turn around, go the opposite direction, opposite direction. It didn't right itself until I got my side of Joplin. Then it's like, oh, that's where you want to go. Fine, sure. And so there.
I blame Google for that.
Google.
I almost got killed in Philadelphia because I did not know it was an exit ramp for a highway, and there's a stop sign there, and GPS said just go straight. So I started going straight. All of a sudden, these 3 cars come flying by me at 70 miles an hour, getting off the highway. This is about 14 years ago when I worked in Pennsylvania. It's like, oh my God. And GPS has also taken me down to dead end roads. I'm like, I've gone in circles recently.
Yeah.
It just put me in an endless loop in Virginia, last week. And I'm like, what the devil is going on? Google GPS, it gets weird.
Yeah. Well,
I've been using Waze a lot more.
I've been really happy with Siri. She's been getting me where I need to go, and I like her because she's like, calm down, Adrian. There'll be a turn right after this turn. I like that. She's really calm and soothing.
I figured this was just Google was probably just getting really PO'd at me because I'm always torturing it.
Let's mess with Ken.
It's like make a U-turn. No, stop bugging me. I know where I'm going. Make a left. No, but the greatest one, and actually this wasn't Google. This was the Garmin. The old Garmin.
Yeah, that's what I got.
And all that. I decided for some stupid reason, and apparently only God knows why, because I ended up in a good spot, something I hadn't seen before. But I was heading to visit my kids out in Virginia. And I thought, okay, I am so tired of taking the Kentucky route and the Tennessee route to go out to visit them. And I thought, I saw the map and I'm like, oh, there's a third one. Well, I'm going to take the north route. So I get going. Now, oblivious to me, I'm on Highway 70.
Yeah.
70 goes to Washington, D.C. That's at the total opposite end of Virginia where I need to go because I need to go south and it's north. So I'm cruising out there and my GPS or my Garmin kept saying, make a right. Make a right. Every exit, make a right. And I would see the miles go down and then I would pass that exit. The miles would go back up. And I couldn't figure it out until I got to Ohio. And then I realized, what the hell did you do? You took the wrong freaking highway. 70 is that's like an extra 10 hours. It's like, so, but I ended up, I got there. I ended up driving through the Cumberland Gap, which was really cool, but not during a storm, and 50-mile-an-hour winds in a mountain. It's like, no, that's not a good combination. But I got through it, and it's supposed to take me 30 minutes. It took me 3 hours to go this 30 miles.
That's funny.
Because of the storm. Yeah. So I get there, I find a hotel, and it's the Cumberland Hotel, I think it is. Oh, it's an awesome place. And I see there's like 5 cars parked, and there must be 500 rooms. It's a huge place. I go in. He said, "Oh yeah, we got plenty of room." I'm like, "Oh yeah, it looks that way." So I get a room. Next morning, I wake up and drive a couple miles to get some food, breakfast and all that. Looking at my map, like, where the heck am I going today? And then I realize just on the other side of the ridge is the Ohio River, which is normal. I usually cross that 2-3 times on the route out there. But I'm looking at the map and I'm like, what is this? And it's, what's it called? Point Pleasant,
Yeah.
West Virginia.
Ooh.
I'm in Mothman territory. I did not. I know. It's like, woo. I did not know that. So, of course, it's like 9 o'clock in the morning. So I cross the bridge and I make a left. It's like a mile down the road.
Yeah.
So I cross the bridge, go over there, and I can't. I did or I shouldn't say I investigated. I didn't investigate anything, but I wandered around the old hotel that's there across from the museum. The museum didn't open until noon.
Did you touch Mothman's butt?
I did not do anything with it except take a picture of it. I think I might have leaned up
You
against.
took a picture of Mothman's butt?
I did.
No, I did not.
Oh, okay.
I took a picture of Mothman.
Oh yeah. No.
But I did walk all the way around and like, oh my God, his butt's hanging out. But anyway,
it's very shiny.
It is a shiny hiney.
That's because I think people go like this.
Yeah.
They do. And they stick quarters in it.
Yeah.
I heard about that recently. Oh, I just saw somebody, I don't know, it was Shannon, I think, that friend of ours with Keith.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, I think she made a comment on Facebook a couple weeks ago. Would you people quit putting quarters in his butt?
We went there. This is one of my favorite memories of Tina. I know we're talking about foreign lands, but she wanted to go to Point Pleasant. Wanted to see Mothman is one of her second favorite. Her top favorite is the Loch Ness Monster. But so we drove from here to Point Pleasant.
Point Pleasant,
and we went and did the museum, and then there's a gift store there. So we enjoyed the museum, had fun there. When we went to the gift store, she was like a kid, had never seen a candy shop in her life. She was ecstatic, and I got a bunch of stuff up here from that store. I kept showing her things. She's like, "Oh my God!" And we spent a lot of money, but it was well worth it. I'd do it again in a heartbeat. It was fun.
Well, I was going to go through the museum, but it opened at noon, and I needed to get going. So it was like 11 o'clock. I'm like, I can't stay. Because I had to get to, I know, but I'm going there again. Well, I'm going to go and stay at the Cumberland again, which is an awesome hotel. And it's obviously haunted, but because nobody was staying there except me and about 4 other people. So
does that make it haunted?
Absolutely. I mean, that's the number one. When you got 500 rooms and there's 5 cars, it's like, Adrian, come on. What do you think?
Yeah, I just drive down the street and go, oh, that place is obviously haunted.
Oh, see, there you go. Yeah.
Oh my gosh. That's fun stuff. I do get out there. We got out there the one time, and I enjoyed it. I enjoyed the history of the Point Pleasant Mothman because they talked about even when in the museum they're talking about George Washington doing his survey, and even George Washington made a mention of the creature that we now know as Mothman because the Indian from his time was talking about a creature in that area, and I was like, well, George wouldn't lie.
Nope.
He's a politician. He's a politician. Of course he lied. Anyhow.
Well, now he lies too because he's gone. But
I lied down. You lied down. And that's your comedy for the evening. Anyhow.
That just reminded me of a story I heard last week on vacation. I went to Virginia for my daughter's wedding back on the 6th. But I was cruising around and I heard a story about, I can't remember the town now. I've got things written down, but I can't remember the town. But they said that there was a man, was a slave owner, early 1900s, and he had quite a few slaves, and he had they worked the fields for him. And there was I'm not going to say a mountain, but a pretty good sized hill right behind him, a part of the the Appalachians and all that. Blue Ridge, whatever they are in that area. And when he died, his statement before he died. His statement was, "When I die, I want you to bury me standing up or sitting in a chair with my head sticking out so that I can continue to watch my slaves and make sure they're still working."
Oh my God.
Well, I don't know if they actually did that or not, but apparently they did something, because now there's like a triangular rock pier where he's supposedly buried on the top of the mountain. It's like a mausoleum type thing, and I'm like, I got to look into this story a little bit more, because it just sounds too crazy to be
That sounds
real.
crazy. That sounds crazy.
So, but anyway,
I would think that would be a bad idea to like just bury him with just his head above the dirt.
I would
Because
think
I would think that the slaves would come along and play some kick football.
that's soccer was
Just saying.
invented.
I agree. I
Right?
agree, but apparently they feared him significantly. I don't know what the deal was, but I'm like, that is a crazy story. But yeah, now there's and apparently you can see it from the road. And I didn't know exactly where it was. I thought I was in the right spot, but it's 2 miles further down the road. And the picture I took was really cool, but it's a mansion that's like about 2 miles away from his mansion. And it's a dairy farm or something like that. Oh my God, it was pretty amazing. But that was one of the stories I heard. Pretty crazy stuff.
Crazy stuff. So let's bring us back to the real world, the A.M.O.K world.
Where are we at now?
If we can say Missouri's real, I mean Missouri is real, but you said mostly St. Louis. St. Louis. Oh my.
Well,
goodness.
I'm going to talk about various places, and I've got a couple other places tonight. Places that I've investigated. Some places you can no longer get into. Some places that I've been in, I've been very fortunate to be included in a small event or a special occasion where I was allowed to go in. So, and some of my friends, and it's totally amazing. But been to quite a few places, and there's a number of them here in St. Louis. Some that you wouldn't even expect. I mean, you started the show saying, you came to St. Louis at the Missouri Botanical Gardens. Missouri Botanical Gardens is haunted.
But why?
Not demonic haunted, but just haunted.
Well, not many places are demonic haunted. Come on, that's a. I mean,
I think very, very few places are.
But why is the Missouri?
Why is Missouri Botanical Garden haunted?
Ghosts like flowers too.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, they do. Matter of fact, Henry Shaw is the main character that kind of hangs around. That was his baby that he created from scratch. No pun intended there. But I mean, he bought a lot of land. He was a millionaire by the time he was 35, I think it was. And he had accumulated like $5 million or $35 million and decided, I quit work. I'm going to retire. So he built he had been investing in land and all that, and he built the Missouri Botanical Garden.
Okay, so I can see why
he's there. Some of his good friends are still there.
Now, he didn't die there.
Yes, he did.
At the garden?
At the garden. His home was on the garden property.
Oh, okay, cool.
So, I mean, and as a matter of fact,
cool that he died, but I mean,
yeah, I mean, well, no,
it's not. To become a ghost.
Well,
I mean,
he was born in 1800, the year 1800, and he died in 1889. And he actually died on the property in the Tower Grove house, which is in the center of the property. It's I'll say a 2-story with an attic and a tower on it. I think I've got a picture of it in some of the stuff I'm showing a little bit. Or maybe I don't this time. But anyway, we can talk about that more when we get later this year. But yeah, on the second floor, it's a museum now, so you can go in, and his room is still there, and it's up on the upper floor. If you're facing it from the front, from the circle area, it's on the back side, upper right.
Oh, okay.
So that was his bedroom, and that's where he died. And some of his good friends, people he trusted, excuse me, they still hang out at the garden. And some of it is residual. But it's pretty interesting because if you go into his house, proper Englishmen, you do not wear a hat. Men do not wear a hat inside the building.
What happens if you do?
You'll either get pushed, you'll get your hat knocked off, or he'll completely ignore you and basically like tell you to, kind of get the hell out. So I've seen all three. I go in there and I'll have my hat on because I usually have that underneath my headphones, and because it's more comfortable that way. And he won't talk to me. And I've actually asked him over the spirit boxes, said, "Are you mad at me tonight because I'm wearing my hat?" Yes.
Yeah.
He said yes.
Yeah.
I said, I apologize. I forgot that it was on. So I take it off, put these back on. Is that better? Yes. Thank you. So, I mean, he's very polite. He'll talk to you. When I close a lot of my, I think you heard the one up. Matter of fact, both of you guys heard my closing that I use for my lectures.
Mm-hmm.
That's where it says good night. That's Henry Shaw.
Oh, really? Okay.
We believe that is Henry Shaw because we captured that on a lockdown in the building. Nobody was in the building at all for like 2 hours. Doors were locked. We ran everything in there, and I had my stuff sitting underneath his portrait, which is about 10 feet tall. And towards the end, we came in. When I got to the end of the recording, it said, "Good night." And I'm like, this is so cool. But yeah, and he's already told us because we do Spirits in the Garden. We've been doing it. I think they've been doing it now for, this might be the 10th year. We've done it. We've been the ghosty side of their Spirits in the Garden. Their side is distilleries and wineries and whatever other, liquid refreshments you can think of.
Mm-hmm.
And we go in, we do have a movie that 10 of us created back about 10 years ago or so. And we still show it, and we're trying to get a new documentary created this year to kind of change it up a little bit, but it's still a lot of fun. We sit up there, we just answer questions. We play the movie. It's like 15 minutes. And I'll run the spirit box behind me, and people will come up and say, "Do you think Henry's here tonight?" Out of the spirit box last year, a voice comes up, sounded just like the good night. He goes, "I'm here.
I'm here." Yeah, see.
I'm here. Yeah. And the place we presented is in the it's called Spinks Hall, and that was the original entrance of the garden.
You say Spinks?
Spink. I think it's called Spink. Spink.
Spinks. Okay.
Spink Hall. Yeah.
Okay.
So it's kind of cool.
When you first said that, that's just a sink hall. So I was like,
sinkhole? No, not sinkhole. Not a sinkhole. That's over in Illinois.
I have my hearing aids in, so how do I know what's going on? No. Missouri Botanical Garden is we've come back with well over 300 pieces of evidence from there. Yeah, how many times do you think you investigated the place?
Oh, at the garden? Oh my God.
Yeah.
I would say at least 100 times.
Yeah, wow. Being in a building that many times.
They know us. They call my name all the time.
Yeah.
I was in the one building, and they
they're like, "Come play with us, Ken."
I was the only one in there. It was like 100 degrees outside, and it was cool in there. I figured it was them, keeping me comfortable. I'm like, this is great. I said, "You stick around, guys." So I was talking to a number of spirits, and I got called away. I said, I'll be back. And this is where I learned you never lie to a spirit, and you never accidentally.
How can you lie to a spirit?
You never accidentally lie to a spirit either. I told them, I said, "I'll be back in about an hour. I got to go check on something across the campus." And they started. I had like several things going, and they started saying, "Don't go, Ken, stay." And I'm like, guys, I'm laughing. This is hilarious. I'm like, I'll be back in about an hour. Unfortunately, I didn't get back for 2.5 hours.
Uh-oh.
Locked down the building. It was the old museum. I locked down the building. I had all my stuff still running. I said, you guys just talk amongst yourself. I came back. All hell is breaking loose. Equipment's buzzing. Equipment's malfunctioning. Lights are flashing. I'm like, what the hell? And then I realized, oh my God, I was supposed to be back an hour and a half ago. So I apologized, and I listened to my recording later. The first hour of the recording, they're just having fun. They're just talking. Second hour, they start playing with my equipment. Ken, he's gone. He's gone.
He's gone.
And I've got these recordings, but I can't really play them because they're so loud because of the REM pod. They eventually just grabbed the antenna on the REM pod and didn't let go for an hour.
Just went off.
It just went.
Right.
It just beeped really loud.
Yeah.
For about an hour. So it was. I apologized when I got back, and next week when I came back for the next session that we were doing, I said, before anybody comes in, I said, hold on, you guys wait outside for a minute. I went in, took my hat off, bowed my head, and I said, I'm so sorry for accidentally lying to you last week. It was unintentional. So they can tell time. I have discovered they can tell time. I have evidence to prove that.
I don't know about that because that's one of the questions I ask. They never tell me what time it is. Have you ever got a time related question, Jess? An answer?
Like, I don't know. What do you mean, time related? Like,
yeah, I mean, I will ask questions to try to see if they can answer like dates or what time it is or anything like that. There's certain things that I ask. There's certain questions I ask that I'll do quite often. Like I'll hold up my comb or I'll hold up my knife and I'll say, what am I holding in my hand? I do that because that way I'm seeing that they're actually dealing with me in real time, like you say with the smart versus residual. But I'll ask them what time it was or what day it is or things like that. I have never gotten an answer like that.
I get a lot of them. I was investigating one place and I said something about this was a weird one because we were talking to something and they indicated that they were aliens. I'm like, oh, this is going to be good. So I kept it going. I just kept it going. I said, when are you guys coming? Monday. I'm like, this was like a Friday. I'm like, oh, okay. So so you're coming in Monday. Yeah. And blah, 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 blah. They were answering. I'm like, I just kept going. I just let it go. Pretended like I was like, yeah, okay, right. I said, so you're coming Monday? Yeah. And they said, May 8th. And I'm like, holy crap. Monday is May 8th.
Yeah.
And this was about 2 years ago. So they can.
Yeah, but they didn't say May 8th, 2022.
No, they didn't. No. They didn't.
May 8th.
Yeah, no, they didn't say the year, but they just said the Monday
is coming.
So of course, I don't know if they came. I didn't see them. But another time I was investigating up.
Now you're talking. You're getting your answer from the spirit box, right?
Correct.
Okay. Do you use the spirit box, Jess?
We don't. I have an Ovilus that I like to use. We just don't. We don't get a lot of good hits with those.
Paranormal Puck 2 as well. So.
Our team leads is a little bit more heavy on rods and some other things. We don't use a whole lot of spirit box.
Rods?
Yeah. We use a lot of rods and other things that we won't go into, but our team doesn't rely very heavily on it. If we do use spirit box, we'll do like Estes method sessions. But that's about it.
Now, for those people who don't know what the Estes method is, tell them what that is.
So the Estes method is a method of using a spirit box that was invented at Estes Park at the hotel. And what it is it's kind of a pure way of hearing what's coming out of the spirit box. A lot of people complain because they think if one person says, "Oh, well, I heard this," then they're automatically going to all assume that's what they heard too.
Yes.
Hive mind type of a situation. It's kind of the sheep thing, you kind of cling to that one, what did they say it was? Oh, it must have
Oh,
been
yeah,
that.
that makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah. So what you do is to run an Estes method, all you do is you get some sound canceling earphones that hook straight into your ghost box or whatever it is you're going to be using, so that only the listener hears what's coming out of it. And then you have a separate person asking the questions or holding the conversation with whatever spirit you're trying to contact. They can't hear what's coming through the spirit box, and the person listening to the spirit box can't hear the questions that are being asked. And their sole job is to sit there and just repeat whatever it is they hear coming through that spirit box. So you're getting a more pure form of answer through it. And we've had fantastic results with it. Pam is excellent with it, and more often than not, we won't.
Miss, I'm on a cruise. She's probably eating a gourmet dinner right now.
Probably.
Let's not even talk about Pam. We got the lovely Jess.
Well, I'm going to talk about her real quick because
Okay.
this girl is so good with the SB7, with our SB7 and the Estes method. There have been times when we weren't talking to a spirit, it wasn't answering us, but she was talking, and I'm sitting there and writing down everything she's saying, and we're soon realizing that she's actually listening in on a conversation that's happening within our space, that we can't obviously hear. Sometimes they're talking about us.
That's funny.
Yep, I've had that before.
But she's
So-
the other control thing too, Jess, is a lot of times the person who's got the headphones on, they're not supposed to be facing the people, or they've got a blindfold on, so they can't.
Yeah.
So they can't
we
be.
put a blindfold on them.
They can't read lips or anything like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We put her in a blindfold so she can't see, and a lot of the times we won't even have her in the same room with us.
Oh,
she's we'll move her a room over so she can't see any, she doesn't feel anything going on. And we have rules like we don't have people walking around, so she's not feeling the pressure of anything moving. So if she feels something, then it's something actually happening to her, and it's not just one of us moving by and the air's brushing her, which we have a lot of.
See, my problem is if I see people doing that, I find myself investigating the investigators. So because first time I saw any kind of spirit box, anything like that, we was in a far off land, Kentucky, I think it's called, and we were at a toilet manufacturing place, American Standard. That's right. But they had the ghost box thing going, and my team was standing around watching them, and I had a hard time biting. You know what I mean? So I'm really skeptical of a lot of the electronics. I'd be more inclined to believe the rods than that kind of stuff, but because I don't know how it works, I can't make my brain do it. Go there, jump, make that jump. Although I'll listen to an EVP right away and say, definitely, that's an EVP. So I don't get it.
Sometimes I get answers through SB7s, and then if you listen to your recordings, there's also an EVP affiliated with it, or either shortly before or shortly after it. I get that a lot too.
Well, that's what I say. You're saying talking about lying to a ghost. I thought, how can you lie to a ghost? Because I've got so many EVPs that are answering a question before I asked a question, and or one of my investigators did, because Dr. Energy, Dr. Energy, their energy, they're just So you spend that energy, it's already out there in space before you actually speak it. So it's kind of weird.
It's true.
Freaked me out the first time.
That's pretty cool stuff, though.
If you wanted to get to the end of your slides, you better get to it. We are 7:35. We're 35 minutes into.
I've just been kind of talking about different things. I mean, we can try. I can at least tell you a couple things about where I've been. Okay, let's try this again, Adrian.
You need me to get it?
I don't know. I think
There
I
you
got
go.
it here.
There you
Okay,
go.
so
It's
now
up
I
there.
got.
You want me to make it
Okay,
smaller?
can I? I can't.
No. What do you
Uh,
mean?
I don't
It's
know. I
all.
broke it. I broke it, guys. So
It is
I.
this, and it's just me, or this, or we can just
Okay.
do that. Oh,
Well,
I'm
now
still
it's.
learning here. Okay, go ahead.
Well, we're having fun. I mean, I'm learning too because this is the first time we've tried to use PowerPoint, and apparently I got to figure something out because
Mon.
uh, it's actually Monster Paranormal, which is my Mo group. So let's go. Everybody knows about the Lamp Mansion. I talk about that one a lot, and we'll probably end up talking about that again sometime later this year. So let's just keep on going. Another place is, which you can't really get into it, but it's Alexian Brothers Hospital. This is where the 1949 part of it, the exorcism took place. The famous one, John Doe.
Exorcist. Yeah.
Yep. So this is where part of that actually happened, and that's in St. Louis. Again, I wish I could get into the place, but I I can't remember. I think most of this has either been torn down or moved or replaced or something. I can't remember exactly. But anyway, so that's that. So we're going to go to the Mo State Penite Nuturieri at the end of in September, I believe.
September,
So
yeah, and I'm really looking forward to this. It's been a while since I've been excited to go someplace, and I'm excited to go to this place. So,
yeah,
yay.
well, I've been there quite a few times, and especially the 8-hour overnights, and it's a pretty awesome place. Actually, I think we'll just wait, and we can talk about that at one of our later shows, maybe in September. What do you think?
Yeah, definitely.
Because I mean, I've had some amazing experiences in there, especially in the gas chamber.
The death chamber.
The death chamber, the gas chamber.
Step on into the death chamber.
That's right. Well, I mean,
have you been there, Jess? Have you been there yet?
I have not. I have not.
So you're coming with us in September.
Probably not.
Why?
We're going to be getting ready for the Paracon.
No problem. You need to come.
It's
just a Paracon.
I will not have any money at that time because I will be getting ready for the Paracon.
Oh my goodness!
2 weeks after this trip.
I sure thought you were coming.
This is going to be on Friday the 13th.
Can't do it, dude.
Okay,
So
well, just
all those
letting
fantastic,
you know.
all those fantastic gifts that you see at the Paracon,
yeah,
I buy them.
Oh, you're so sweet.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, so I'm out of cash by that time, but I will love to hear all about your trip there afterwards.
So this is where you need a GoFundMe for Jess so she can help pay for these things.
There we go.
It's a great thing. I'm sure she accepts Venmo, Cash App, any of that stuff. Send money to Jess. Find her. Okay. Let's go on.
Okay, keep on going here. Okay.
Yeah.
A lot of people talk about Zombie Road. Zombie Road is actually in St. Louis. It's right along the Merrimack River out in Wildwood area. It's a paved park now, a paved trail that you can hike and bike on. Those tracks there, actually, they do have a miniature train that runs along there. Adults and kids can fit. Usually 2 kids side by side.
On the road or in the cart?
On that little, you can't see in the cart. Yeah.
Okay.
Right. Yeah, and it's actually a locomotive, so it's not being pushed or pulled or anything.
Now you've been down this at night.
I have not, because it's illegal to go there at night anymore.
Yeah.
The county, St. Louis County, has forbidden it, and if you're caught out there, it's like about a $200 or more fine
that nobody wants to pay.
So, I mean, I've seen stuff out there during the day, and yes, I do use my SB7 a lot. So, I've had some conversations out there. I've seen some.
You ever get any kids out there? I mean, you know what I'm talking about. Keith always shows that picture that was taken while they were filming.
That was Tom Halstead. His photo.
Yeah.
With the people up on the hill.
Yeah.
I have not seen that, but I have seen Native Americans out there.
Really?
Yep. There's if you go down the path here, this is towards the beginning of it. But if you keep on going, the path's like almost 2 miles long. I think I usually go about halfway and then come back. But there's a huge field in the middle. There's an old train trestle in between. Why it's there, I have no idea, but maybe there was a bigger train at that point. Um, but the big field, I've actually seen like shadowy teepees and Native Americans kind of hiding in some of the bushes and that. So
Ghost
it was
teepees?
pretty, excuse me?
Ghost teepees?
Basically, yeah, ghost teepees.
Now,
Not toilet paper, not toilet paper, teepees.
I can honestly say I've never seen a ghost teepee. I've seen, like when we did in Oklahoma, when we did Soul Catcher, we saw some Native American spirits out there, and that was pretty intense. But never saw any dwellings.
Actual
A
teepees.
ghost dwelling. Now that is something. I don't.
It's an amazing place, and just walking along, you can actually feel the energy as you're walking along it. So I just take a lot of pictures and never capture any photos, but I have captured a lot of audio out there, just conversations going on. So anyway, that's Zombie Road. Another place I've been to is Jefferson Barracks. You can't really go into the government section. It's not an electric fence, but there's a barbed wire fence completely around it. Of course, this is an old picture back in the early 1900s when it was opened. This is probably from about 1870s or so. This photo, but Jefferson Barracks, federal property. It's burial sites for military. There's an old section in there that does have a couple of original settlers from I want to say 1805 or something like that. But you can wander around the park, Jefferson Barracks Park, which is basically adjacent to the federal section. But I've captured a few things in the park itself. Usually, any photos I've got deer that just appear out of nowhere. So, but that's normal. It's not paranormal. That's just normal.
Just normal.
Yeah, they just you get dusk and all of a sudden, where the hell did that thing come from? Deer just kind of appear, don't they? Isn't that weird?
Deer, yeah.
So, but there's a lot of them in there.
Like right in front of your car.
Yeah,
yeah,
they are.
Or running into your car. Yeah. So anyway, that's Jefferson Barracks. That's in the area. Now, in addition to this, in North County, this is in South County, but in North County, right there at the near the confluence of the Missouri River and the Mississippi River, there is another old fort up there. It's called Fort Bellefontaine. It has some ruins up there of the original of the original structure that was there. That was there until Jefferson Barracks got built, and they moved everybody down there. So it just became an abandoned. Now I think there's a children's home up there, wayward children or whatever you want to call them. I don't know, reform school, whatever. But that's up in the North County one. But you can go in, but you can't go into of course, you got to stay away from the kids' buildings. But there's some really cool ruins up there. So that's kind of cool to go up there. And I'm
just for history's sake.
Well, history, and if you're far enough away from the guards, you can probably run some of your toys. But they don't allow it because it's government property.
It's government property, yeah. I've been there.
Yep,
there you go. As we talked about the botanical garden.
Botanical gardens, yep. And we'll talk more about that later this year. So the McPike, so that's 3.14. No, I'm sorry. The McPike Mansion, that's actually up in Alton, Illinois. So it's about 40 minutes from me here, along the Mississippi River. And it's a really cool place. The owners are rehabbing the place. They've been working on it for almost 30 years. In the past year, they've now been working inside. They finally got the outside fixed. And inside now they're replacing floor joists.
Now, and McPike, is this place open for investigations, or is this one of the places that you had the
McPike, you cannot yet investigate inside, but I'm moving my mouse thinking you guys can see it. But
No.
if you're facing I know, I'm like, what am I doing here? But if you're looking at this picture, if you go to the left and around the side, there is actually a cellar that you can go into. And what they basically have are blackout sessions. So they turn off all the lights, and there's a psychic that's there, and the spirits of the mansion, the McPikes, do show up down there.
You watch the show Ghosts?
I have.
Is it the people down in the basement? Whatever the cholera or whatever.
The cholera people. Yeah, I know what you're talking about. I love that show.
I'm sorry.
Between that and Resident Alien, I love both of those shows.
Yes.
But anyway,
those are my two favorite too.
But anyway,
sorry.
I've actually seen some strange things in there. Matter of fact, last time I was well, yeah, they were, but they're more. These ghosts are more like, I forget the guy's name, but the English guy or French guy, whatever. I think but they're dressed more suits and stuff like that, dressed as formal stuff. Ghost kids down there. There's could be anywhere up to I think 12 different spirits that the family apparently is still living in the house, but they head down there. But I had the interesting tale where I'm sitting down there and the place is pitch black, so I'm kind of leaning back up against the wall and just let my spirit kind of roam around. And all of a sudden, this woman appeared in front of me. And the whole room to me lit up in this greenish glow. And she was dressed to the hilts, and probably, like Easter bonnet and all this kind of thing. And she's standing right in front of me. I'm like, okay, guys, I'm seeing something in front of me here. And I described the person, the woman, and the psychic up front goes, I have no idea who that one is. And I'm like, well, I don't either. And all of a sudden, a lady sitting about 2 feet from me, kind of to my left, all of a sudden she kind of goes, oh my God. And I think I know who that is. And the woman turns around and faces me. She's got a big smile on her face. I can describe her even more. And the lady next to me starts crying. Apparently her mom came to visit her at this place. And she came to me.
But not attached to that place at all.
No, not at all. Because the woman was from, I don't even know where she was from, but her mom came to visit her, which I thought was just so cool. And I could see, which was really interesting for me, is I could see silhouettes of everybody in that room, and it's pitch black.
Well, you're because God made you incredible.
I'm the woo-woo guy, yeah.
But you can see after a while you're in a pitch dark place. You're going to be able to see. But that just leads me. Not necessarily. A totally different question, though. Why would a ghost from somewhere else meet you on location? So it doesn't make any sense to me.
The woman ghost that was there to see her daughter. That was her daughter sitting a couple of chairs from me.
Yeah, but
why, I don't know. Yeah. But I figured that she was probably hanging around her daughter, which I think we all have BYOG, bring your own ghost type thing. So, we all do. And guardian angels and ancestors, they kind of hang around if you believe in it.
Nobody
so apparently, but she materialized. The woman couldn't see her. This lady couldn't see her. I could. I described her. She knew it was her mom. And I watched this figure move over in front of this young, she's probably in her 30s, maybe 30s, probably 30s. She moves right in front of her. She puts her head down like this, up against the girl's forehead. And she puts her hands on her shoulders. I said, can you feel her? She goes, she has her hands on my shoulders and I could feel her forehead touching my forehead, and she just started crying, which was one of those.
Me out.
It was an extremely emotional. Then all of a sudden, I see this. I'm watching this. Just this is so awesome. I got to help somebody get help. And next thing I know, I see this dark shadow go running in front of me, and the guy next to me, his chair just goes, "Wow!" And he's screaming and yelling, and his chair falls out from underneath him, and he falls backwards. So, of course, they turn on the lights, and the lady's now gone. Afterwards, I said, everything was fine. But afterwards, the lady comes up to me, and she goes, she said, "Thank you so much for bringing that to my attention, that my mom was here to see me." And she goes, "And I want to tell you, too, the guy sitting next to you, that's my dad, but it's not my real dad." And I said, "Oh." She goes, "Yeah, I think the other guy was my real dad and kicked his chair and knocked him over." So I'm like, that was pretty crazy. That's the McPike Mansion. Eventually,
are you woo-woo, Jess? I forget. I think I asked you this question before. You woo-woo?
What do you define as woo-woo?
I mean,
anything he can't do.
Are you sensitive? Are you gifted? Are you got the? Are you like?
I'm a little
European
sensitive.
ghost?
I'm a little sensitive.
You're a little sensitive. I'm not sensitive.
I'm a little sensitive.
I'm sensitive. I'll cry at movies, but that's about it.
Okay, Mineral Springs, another place I've been to.
I've been there.
Probably at least 100 times. Yeah, it's a great place, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
A lot of activity there. I've had a lot of great experiences there. I'll probably be there again pretty soon. So that's up in Alton, Illinois.
Mm-hmm.
Cheney Mansion, that's up in Jerseyville, Illinois. Historic P.D. Cheney was the guy's name. I think he was, I forget, military colonel or something like that.
That's a cool looking place.
It's a really neat place. I've investigated there quite a few times. It's also Underground Railroad, documented Underground Railroad. So that is a really cool place to go. Main Street, St. Charles. St. Charles has a lot of history. There's a halfway decent, it's a pretty good ghost walk. It's more stories about history, but Main Street, St. Charles is a lot of haunted areas in there, and of course, Lewis.
We just walk around the street.
Yeah, mm-hmm. Yeah, and I forget which direction. I think to the right of this picture, that's where the Missouri River is.
Okay.
Because St. Charles is right along the Missouri River, and
Lewis
and Clark.
Paranormal activity by running water and all that stuff. I hear all that.
Yeah, and plus it's on caves.
It's just a little tiny river, though. I can't believe it conduct any energy.
Yeah, it's just small amounts, a little trickle, just dock. Anyway, like the Merrimack River. But anyway, Lewis and Clark landed here too. That's one of the places between Alton and then St. Charles. St. Charles is kind of known for the Lewis and Clark, beginning of the Lewis and Clark Trail.
How long have you been there, Shauna?
She's been.
I just got here.
Okay,
that's St. Charles.
I get in lost, like gross and things.
No, I just got here. I figured I'd come at that butt end of it.
You got 5 minutes, so you got 5 minutes of it.
Okay,
I was working. I'm sorry.
This is a cool place too. This is it used to be a restaurant and a wedding venue over in O'Fallon, Illinois. Matter of fact, it's right across the highway from Scott Air Force Base, Adrian, over in Illinois. So it's about 40 miles from St. Louis. Cool place. We've had some interesting, also Underground Railroad. They used to hide them up in the tower up there under the steps. So that's a cool place. Other places nearby, and of course, I love my little sign here. Morris Mills, that's in Missouri. Milton School, that's in Alton, Illinois. Pythian Castle, we've all been there.
Yeah.
Many of us have been down in Springfield, Illinois. Unitarian Church is up in Alton. That's a really interesting place too. Part of the Underground Railroad up there too. What else we got? Scottish Rite Cathedral. This is in St. Louis. I was able to investigate there. I don't even know how many years ago.
See, that building looks like it deserves a theme song.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
like a 1970s police.
Yeah.
Like Chips.
Dun, dun,
yeah. There you go. Uh-huh. Yeah, it's Scottish Rite Cathedral.
Gotta go.
That's the building.
Bye.
Good luck.
I'm sorry.
Here's some pictures of the inside of it. Used to be the biggest auditorium in St. Louis, the most seats. My mom actually danced on stage here when she was a kid. This is one of the rooms inside the hallway. This is at 5 o'clock at night and it's pitch black.
Yeah, I love hallways like that though.
In the middle of the, this is one of the libraries. Weird setups. It's like semi underground. It's like a half floors between basement and here. And I actually saw, we had a blackout session in here, and I actually saw hooded figures wandering around like monks carrying books. This is the cafeteria in the basement. I mean, first time I was ever in this building was for 3 days, twice taking the CPA exam back in the 80s. Yeah. And you talk about quiet, because of course nobody could talk in there because it was a CPA exam. Heard whistling down there. I asked the one person, you want me to whistle back? No. And I did hear an EVP, did capture one. And after the no, it's like,
yeah. That was a great acting job by Ken. Apparently, we were unable to play the DVBs for real. Maybe Fox
Theater. I have investigated that. Actually, I've investigated it twice. Hard to get into it now, but it was amazing. Built back in 29.
That looked beautiful.
Some pictures here of that era. This is the original Wurlitzer that's still there. This is what imagine Phantom of the Opera being played on this in the dark up here on the stage. So this is what it looks like now.
That's really beautiful. Yeah.
Some haunted rumors. We did capture some of this. Didn't see the woman with red hair, but I do have of course I can't play it. Man whistling and jingling his keys. I did capture that as we were leaving, and which was really kind of cool. Stan Can, I actually had a conversation with him. He was one of the pianists from 52 until 1975. It's a picture of the projection room. I'm going to fly through these real quick.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, we're really getting close. Here's some evidence we captured. This is a friend of mine took this picture from the stage, and those little arrows, it's probably not dark enough, but you can actually see people.
It looks like people in there, yeah.
There's people sitting in the stands, and then you got this on the right side, that green. That's a one seat towards the back that always has something in it.
That's a cool picture. I like that.
You really is kind of cool. I did not take either one of these, but I was there. I was there when it happened, though. Cafe Ventana, another place. Some friends of ours, their family owned that block forever, from whatever. Here's what the mansion looked like. Did get a chance to go inside of it once, and now it's condemned. Yeah. We didn't do it, but
that's not your fault. Yeah,
not our fault. No, but it was just falling apart, and we were able to go in there, took some pictures inside. Now it's all kind of falling apart. Just beautiful. This is the cafe, which is next to it, which was part of their property, the Kilgan's property. Yeah, I call it frou food.
Frou food.
I mean, but some of the I was able to get bacon there, so I got like a bacon sandwich, like a BLT or something like that. And the soups were good too. Yeah. This is the annex building that we spent a lot of time in, and we actually had all of these, which I can't play for you tonight. But
you had more time, you could act them out.
Exactly. This was a really cool picture that a friend of mine captured. I'm almost done here too. A couple more slides. But we captured the one on the left. This is zoomed in on the right, but it's like a headless horseman. We captured that photo, a friend of mine did, and turns out later on that the three ladies whose family owned this property, they owned the entire block. The Kilgan was a pipe organ company from like the 1830s or 50s or something like that. And I was giving a talk up there and giving this lecture just about the place. And the one lady, Patty, comes up and she gets up right in front of the screen. She goes, "That's not a man. That's my grandmother, great-great-grandmother." And if you look at what she's wearing and what the picture is, look at the similarities.
Yeah. That's pretty wild.
The ascot, the little bumps on the shoulders.
No head.
No head, but on that one. But it's like, oh my gosh, this is just amazing.
How'd she lose her head?
I don't know. Maybe she went to France or something. I don't know. I think it just didn't materialize, or it was dematerializing when the photo was taken. So that's just a tidbit of the St. Louis and the St. Louis area, even though a couple things were Springfield, Illinois, Missouri, and Jeff City. But a lot of those are within this, within
might as well be St. Louis.
Within 45 minutes of of downtown St. Louis.
It takes you 45 minutes just to get through St. Louis.
It takes me 45 minutes, almost an hour to get to St. Charles.
Yeah.
because of stoplights and traffic.
Stoplights and traffic. That's right. Terrible. Yeah. Terrible. And your GPS trying to send you through
that's true.
Ohio.
Exactly. Going the wrong way. Yeah. So again, that was my presentation for tonight. Kind of brief. Tell you a bunch of stories. So I think it turned out really well.
It did. It worked out good. I like it. Hey, and next week it's Oklahoma's week, and I'm supposed to have the Wraith Chasers out, not the Tennessee Wraith Chasers. Apparently, Tennessee Wraith Chasers and the Wraith Chasers I get the Tennessee boys kind of retired from it all, and you have two that are still doing it, and they're doing events and doing investigations, and I'm supposed to have them on next week, but we'll see. If not, I've got a plan in store. Anyhow, just hang out with us, and everybody else be back next week. Hang out with us then.
Jess, thanks for helping us out tonight.
Yeah, I'm not here. Pam.
I'm sorry.
Oh my God.
I'm sorry.
Pam.
Pam, thanks for coming. Shaw, thanks for being in the background. Bye.
Bye.